What if you got paid $5 million for only 90 seconds of work? And what if, in those 90 seconds, you could forever change the way musicians, marketers, and even scientists went about their jobs? It sounds crazy, but that's exactly what Michael Jackson did in 1984 when he starred in a Pepsi commercial for the Super Bowl. So on this episode, I thought we'd talk about the forgotten details of that commercial, what we can learn from it, and how it's still impacting our lives in ways we don't even realize. Welcome to Admazing, the show where we break down the world's best and worst commercials to find out what really makes a great ad. I'm your host, Youshaei, and the way this show works is we're all going to watch a commercial together. This time it's a Pepsi commercial featuring Michael Jackson. Then we're going to get your commentary on it. Then we're going to end with my final take on a scale of Adtrocious to Admazing. So no further ado, let's get into this week's ad. Alright, so I posted this commercial earlier in the week on my LinkedIn, went through every single one of your comments, picked out my 3 favorites here, and I want to reply to them before giving my final take. The first comment comes from Kyle, who says, Admazing. Putting a spin on a well-known song, celebrity appearance, and kids dancing is a win-win-win. Well said, Kyle. It seems so obvious today, but singing, dancing, and celebrities were not really common in commercials until this one aired during the Super Bowl in 1984. And while most people want to give the credit to Michael Jackson, the real unsung hero is a man named Jay Coleman. You see, Jay was Michael's agent who brokered many of his brand sponsorships. And at first, Jay pitched Coca-Cola, who offered Michael and him $1 million to be featured in their targeted and ethnic campaign. But that didn't really fly with Jay because he had a bigger vision for Michael. So he called up the then Pepsi CEO and did the ballsiest thing an agent could do. He asked for $5 million from them, to which the Pepsi CEO had this reaction.
I mean, $5 million. It's outrageous. I went home and I asked my wife, and she said, it's crazy. You can't give $5 million to somebody.
But here's the detail that made that deal a little less outrageous. Jay told Pepsi that they'd rewrite the song Billie Jean to be Pepsi's newest jingle. In other words, they take that hit song from this and change the words to be this. And with that, Pepsi had enough to sign the deal and history was made. And like with most things Michael Jackson did, it spawned a lot of copycats. In fact, Coke felt so dumb for passing on this Michael Jackson deal that they replied by adapting the famous Ghostbusters song into this cringy Thirstbusters ad.
When you're coming first with a real big thirst, who you gonna call?
And this trend only continued in 1986 when Gillette adapted this song from a band called Bananarama. Yep, that's the song Venus that became the anthem for Gillette's razors for women.
I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire.
And this trend of adapting songs has gotten so crazy that recently Chris Brown wrote a song for Double Mint Gum that became a smash hit in 2008. That's right, Wrigley commissioned Chris Brown to write Forever as a modern jingle for Double Mint gum. So chew on that for a minute. Because all of this started when J. Coleman adapted Michael Jackson's music for Pepsi, and Forever changed the way songs got written and repurposed. The second comment comes from Daniel, who says, look at Carlton killing it. Great eye, Daniel. That 14-year-old kid is Alfonso Ribeiro, better known as the actor who went on to play Carlton in Fresh Prince of Bel Air. So before he starred alongside Will Smith, he was dancing alongside Michael Jackson in this Pepsi commercial. In fact, few people know that Alfonso's moves got so much attention after this commercial that he actually launched his own dance classes and books. Take a look.
Hi. You know, I wasn't born a dancer. I learned to do it with a lot of help. And with my help, you can learn too. Moves like the moonwalk or the King Tut. It's all right here in my breaking and popping book.
And then this is where it got crazy. You see, execs from NBC saw Alfonso's moves and thought he'd be the perfect fit for TV. So they first offered him a role in this show called Silver Spoons, before eventually offering him the role of Carlton in Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And then a new mold was made. And Hollywood execs started looking at commercials as a way to spot the next talent for their shows and films. So it's no surprise that shortly after that commercial with Alfonso, that a 14-year-old boy by the name of Leonardo Dicaprio was found in this Bubble Yum commercial. And then an actor by the name of Brad Pitt was discovered in this 1989 Pringles commercial. And then an actor by the name of Paul Rudd was discovered in this 1991 Nintendo commercial. You see where I'm going? It's crazy how many careers were impacted both directly and indirectly after this Pepsi commercial changed the mold. The final comment comes from Amita, who says, adequate. I was so focused on the dancing kids that the drink for a new generation message was completely lost, she says. Amita, the message may have been lost on you, but it wasn't lost on the millions of Americans who drank Pepsi and skyrocketed the company's sales to $7.7 billion the year after this commercial aired. But I hear you. At the end of the day, what do dancing and singing really have to do with selling sugar water anyways? And that brings me to my final take. You see, when your product is so similar to your competitors, as is the case with Pepsi and Coke, you can't win on taste alone. You can't even win on marketing. Instead, you have to rely on neuromarketing. Here's what I mean. At Baylor College, a neuroscientist by the name of Reed Montag ran a study where he monitored the brain waves of people as they drank Coke and Pepsi. He ran 2 tests. The first test was blind. He didn't tell the subjects which brown liquid belonged to which brand. And lo and behold, most of the people preferred Pepsi. But in the second test, he showed them which cup was Coke and he showed them which cup was Pepsi as they drank them. And what happened? Most of them now preferred Coke. They were somehow convinced that the taste of Coca-Cola was far superior to Pepsi, which all begs the question, how is that even possible? I mean, the drink didn't change, but somehow their preference did. And that's because the MRI machines showed that the people's prefrontal cortex in their brain lit up the moment they saw Coke's red and white label, before they even took a sip. And they started talking about how Coke's classic taste made them think back to their childhoods, which is so fitting when you think about Coke's marketing. They're all about being classic and nostalgic. Coke's brand was so strong that they triggered people's brains to overpower their taste buds. So what was Pepsi left to do? They had to be the opposite of Coke. And what's the opposite of being classic? It's being fresh. And what's the opposite of looking backwards and being nostalgic? It's looking forward at a new generation. And boom, suddenly Pepsi's commercial with Michael Jackson begins to look even more genius. It gave people another reason to drink Pepsi. It was a way of being associated with what's cool and new, not old and classic. It was a way of showing people that they were part of the next generation by drinking Pepsi. So that message resonated so well that Pepsi renewed Michael Jackson's deal for $10 million and took that campaign international just a few years later. In fact, to this day, Pepsi continues to sign the hottest musicians to be associated with their brand and what's next. From Michael in the 1980s, to Britney in 2001, to Beyonce in 2012, to Cardi B in 2019. So because Pepsi was so smart with their messaging, and because Michael Jackson sparked so many trends with this commercial, I have to rate it as Admazing. Whoa, we're not done yet. If you liked this episode, I think you'll love this one that YouTube helped me pick out from our channel just for you. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that button, ring the bell so you never miss another episode. And who knows, you could be one of the 3 people I feature next week. I'll see you guys then.